That's pretty narrow. That is pretty narrow. Oh jeez. 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 What's up, YouTube? This must be fast. 775 Gaming come back to you guys on our episode of SNOWRUNNER on season 17, and it's here, people. The Mercedes pack. Oh yeah, this is some exciting stuff right here. When was the last time we got a real Euro brand or Euro truck brand in this game, or something that could at least be somewhat considered European? I think the last time was Land Rover, was it not? I don't know. I'm gonna have to check that now, actually. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was Land Rover was the last kind of European manufacturer that was entered into this game. Even though I don't know. I don't know if I should even really count Land Rover, because Land Rover is they don't build trucks. They only build Jeeps. I don't know if Burlak. I did actually look through the truck store there. I'm not sure if Burlak where they're built, but if Burlak, I mean they still don't build trucks as such. They kind of build exploration vehicles. But yeah, and then I suppose the other one I could mention is Tatra, but Tatra isn't as mainstream of a brand, if you know what I mean, as Mercedes. So this is a little bit bigger than Tatra. That's for sure. But yeah, it has been a hot minute since we've gotten an actual branded set of vehicles that could be considered from kind of Europe. So yeah, this is just big. This is just I'm really excited for this. So yeah, without any further rambling, let's just get into the customization of these. Let's take these things out for a spin. Let's have a little fun with them, yeah? So we've got the Actros here. Specifically, this is the 3332. So yeah, and it's in off-road class. Got a power to weight of A plus to start with here by the looks of it, and a fuel consumption of A plus to start with as well. That gets bumped up to an S and an A respectively when we put the top engine in here, which is 188, or it's 185,000 torque, I think. Yeah. It also has 180-liter fuel capacity, which feels very small for this truck. However, I have been hearing that it is apparently very good fuel-wise, so maybe it'll be all right. I feel like that seems extremely low for any truck, really. I feel like two 200, maybe like 240 realistically should be like the minimum amount of fuel each truck should have. That's just the way I feel. Also, interestingly enough, these trucks have crawler suspensions. Like, I don't know why they have crawler suspensions, but that's cool. And they also have a standard race setup, which does seem to bring the truck up more than the crawler suspension. I think we are going to go raised, because we are going to try and do a little bit of actual cargo hauling here with these yokes. So yeah. In here we got your highways, got your all-terrains. We do have special tires for this truck, and yeah, they're in off-road class. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong set. Yeah, they're in off-road class. We have 46 and 50-inch tires for this thing, so that's cool. We got your standard array of mediums, of medium winches, engageable. We got switchable we got switchable all-wheel drive and switchable diff lock, so that's cool. Then our intake, which our intake air filter, standard stock air filter, is pretty high to begin with. We kind of just add an extension onto it with the intake air filter upgrade there. Yeah, I don't think you'd be running into too much trouble with that standard air filter anyways. And then we get to the add-ons, which this thing has a decent amount of add-ons. not as much as I would probably like, but then again, it's a short frame type truck, so you can't really expect too much. We do get the prof crane on here, which is quite nice. We can have a log carrier front with a log loading crane, which is very nice. Then we can just have flatbed by itself. We can't have flatbed and crane, if you're wondering. We can also have the van body on here. We can have short logs. We can have a seismic vibrator, which doesn't have the crash bar in the back because this thing already has its own crash bar. We can also have a standard sideboard, a fuel tank, water tank. We can also have the yellow crane, which is very nice, and we can have our saddle low. No saddle high, unfortunately. It's kind of strange. I thought this thing would have saddle high. You can also have the hydro lift, which is pretty cool. Yeah, but I think we'll just throw on the LC 3.8 and the saddle low here because I think that's the way we'll be using this. Probably, even though the LC crane does make the front of the truck kind of squat down a bit there. I'm not sure if you saw that, which I'm not sure if that's good or not good, if I'm being honest, because yeah, I'm working with limited enough information about these trucks because they've only been out for like a day at the time of me recording this. I really don't have um, I really don't have too much. I don't have any information on the like whatchamacallit, the collision boxes on the axles and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's got one of those really high up and non-existent collision models on the underside, or if it's got like a really bad one, or if it's just kind of got a semi-decent one, you know, that kind of way. So yeah, I'm not sure if having the cab squat down at the front like that is good. Well, it's not good no matter what way you look at it, but I'm not sure how badly it might affect us, you know, that kind of way. So yeah, we do have a roof rack with this truck, which is very nice, and I'm definitely going to take that because it actually has more fuel in it than the truck has in its tank. It's got a 260 liter spare fuel. 260 liters of spare fuel. That's more than the truck has in its tank to begin with. Okay. You also have a flasher bar on there, which is quite nice, and we can also have this cage thing, savior thing. I'm gonna leave that off for the moment. I don't think I'm gonna throw that on just yet. I do, however, think I will put on this bull bar, which looks pretty nice, and also quite nice thing I like here. You can actually change the bumper up to change the bumper to a slightly more modern style of headlight for this truck, I believe. I don't know if that wasn't updated. I'm not sure if that's the. I don't. I'm not sure really. Also, the cool thing about this bumper is it's actually painted, where the other two bumpers are plastic. So yeah, you could have a painted front bumper if you want. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it depends on your preference there, really. Then we have horns, which don't seem to. Oh wait, we can have the ones that are on kind of the side of the cab. Okay, yeah, we'll put those on. Why not? We also have spotlights up the top. That's cool. And then we've got some exhaust options, mainly a flat cap and a side spitter, kind of a heat shielded type exhaust. I think I might actually leave on the stock exhaust just because I think that one looks a little bit cooler, if I'm being honest. And then we just have a standard set of rims with the Mercedes tires. So that's cool. And I think we'll leave the stock color scheme on here. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see what's going on down here. We have this, that, this, that. Okay, none of those are great, if I'm being honest. I'm going to stick with the standard then, like I said. Okay, and we will also go in here and customize up the Zetros here quickly as well. So what do we have here? We have an A power to weight, B plus durability, and A fuel consumption, and that gets bumped up to an A plus power to weight, A minus durability, and A minus fuel consumption when we put in the top engine. Okay, that's pretty cool. Then we get a standard array of boxes, so that's fine. Off-road is going in because that's what I like. So we then have a crawler suspension once again, which is pretty cool. Which actually seems to raise the truck on this one. It didn't seem to raise the Actros too much. So that's pretty cool. So we'll stick on, yeah, we'll just stick on the raised. I'm going to stick with the raised here today because we are going to be doing a bit of cargo hauling. We're not really doing exploration, you know. And then this thing can actually have TMHS. I'm just after now realizing, okay, that's interesting. This thing can have TMHS. Okay, that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's got all your mud tires on there. It's got your chains, you got your off-roads, all-terrains. You don't have highways on this thing, which is pretty cool. That's how you know it's a proper off-roader. But yeah, I guess we'll just stick on the the Mercedes-Benz own tires here, the Zetros' tires, because these are a pretty cool set of tires, if I'm being honest. Mostly because they're kind of a wide single set, which, I mean, the rears have kind of a wide, they're much wider than the fronts, which I just think is really cool. It looks really good as well, so it means we don't have to have dualies. Yeah. It only has 46 and 48. It only has a maximum of a 48-inch tire, though, which is kind of strange. Like, I feel like this should have larger tires than the Actros. Like, the Actros has 50-inch tires. But whatever. So then we got your standard medium winches once again. This thing has a 360-liter fuel capacity, by the way. And it also has a switchable all-wheel drive and switchable diff lock. So they got the same kind of thing going on there. Then for snorkels, we got an intake air filter, which, yeah, you got a tall front facing, and you've got the stock, which is actually the tallest out of all of them somehow. So you know we're leaving the stock bad boy on there. And then this thing is kind of strange because it has an extended frame option, which you need. And you need the extended frame, which it's not really an extended frame. It's just something to lift up the add-ons. That way they're not hitting the rear mudguards. It's just, yeah, it's just something. Yeah, that's literally all it is really for. And you need this for everything, except for when you're installing saddles and the LC crane, because this thing is similar enough to the Actros in the fact that it can't have a bed, crane, and trailer setup, and yeah, the add-ons are pretty much the same. You got your water and fuel tank, you got your sideboard, you got your seismic vibrator, you got small logs, van body, flatbed. You've got the LP4 and the log carrier front, and the PC 320, the prof crane, which yeah. Honestly, yeah. And, like, it can have log carrier front with the LP4. Okay, so we'll stick on that, and we'll stick on our saddle low, and that's good. And then we'll take a look at the visuals. We've got a couple of sun visor options, as you always do. Stick on that one. It's got a safety cage, because of course it does. It has trunk repair supplies. Yeah, we'll throw those on. 150 repairs and 140-liter fuel tank. Pretty nice. What's it? We got, okay, so we got front bumpers. We got just kind of bulkier ones, if I'm being honest. I think we'll put the toe loops on there. That looks pretty cool. Also, I'm just now noticing as well, I'm after reading the side of the door here. So apparently this is a Mercedes Zetros 1745, which I don't really know what that means. I'm pretty sure the 45 is the horsepower number. I'm pretty sure that stands for like 450. Yeah. Yeah, you know, that's funny then, because in this thing, in the Actros, we have the model number. We have the 3332 there, but why don't we have the model number of the Zetros in it? I don't know. There's some consistency issues here. I don't know. We got roof horns, even though they're on the they're on the front fenders. Okay, that's strange. Um, we got exhaust options. It's just got a single kind of small exhaust to start with. We got flap caps, and we got these kind of snub heat shielded, it's called, but they're kind of side spitters, I feel like, as well. I don't know. I'll throw those on. Why not? They look pretty cool. And then we got yeah, just standard rims for this thing, so that's fine. See what color options it has. See if it's got anything good. So it's got that. That's kind of cool. It's got that. That's just okay. That's pretty nice. I'll stick the standard one on it, though, for the moment, though, and we'll stick with the standard paint schemes. And yeah, we'll just get to it here. However, I am going to have to do just a little bit of driving here before we actually start using them, because I'm going to have to go all the way over to the trailer store and get me some trailers. Because, yeah, this region is annoying. Alright guys, so I'm just about ready to go ahead and start doing some missions here, so we're gonna go ahead and load up a set of metal beams for ourselves here. We're here with the Zetros in the metal factory, so yeah, we're down here at the Tavros, I believe is the name of the company, or something like that, I don't know. Yeah, and essentially what we're going to do here to start with, by the way, the Actros is down here. What we're going to start with is we're going to grab a metal beam, obviously, I've done that. We're going to go up here to the west farm, we're going to grab the hay bales and the consumables that it has, and we're going to drive over here into town. The hay bales we're going to deliver to, I don't know, some of these houses, I think. The cliffside house and the last house, apparently. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and deliver those to there. After that, we are going to deliver the metal beam to the work site down here. And once we have the metal beam to the work site, we'll just bring this fuel carrier over with the Actros and give it the fuel it needs. So we'll have that bridge down there repaired, so that'll be all good. Once we've done that, I think we will hop into the Actros itself. Oh, wait. Yeah, and then the consumables that we grabbed from the West Farm, we're going to bring to the work site up here, and yeah, do that. We'll also grab ourselves a service spare when we're down here near the service station, and yeah, we'll be able to fix that. So we'll have the route into the into the town here kind of opened up, because so far the way I've been doing things is I've been driving up over this way or driving through here. So it did take me a little bit of time just to go grab this trailer for the Zetros, and also to get the Actros up to there. But yeah, that's what we're going to start with here. That's what we're going to do with the Zetros for the most part. Actually, just give you guys a little listen to the engine noise here. Sounds pretty nice, I think, anyways. Also, we've just kind of sunk here. I just stopped here for a moment, and we've just sunk in the into the ground. That's kind of funny. It's funny when that happens in you know, like a yard or somewhere where you think you're safe. You know, that kind of way. Somewhere where you think you're safe and you're not going to sink, or you think nothing bad's going to happen. It's kind of funny when that happens. Luckily, we're in a very capable truck, and I can tell you guys, just from the short amount of time I've had driving this, whilst I went to get the trailer, this truck feels very, and I do mean very, nice to drive. It's kind of a strange feeling. Like, you know, at this point in this game, like, I've been playing this game for so long, and I've used so many of the trucks. I've used most of the trucks in this game. There's a couple of the separate DLCs that I don't have, but I've been playing this game long enough to kind of know what a good handling truck feels like. You know, and I can tell, even though Jeez, that's a bad angle we're at there. And I can kind of tell that this truck feels it just feels really nice to drive. It kind of nearly feels too nice to drive in a sense. It kind of feels like something from Expeditions in some ways, if I'm being honest. Come on, get yourself through here. Now, the one thing I have noticed though is that is just from like driving through the swamp down near the garage, and also for driving through here, is that it does seem to not have as much ground clearance compared to the Actros anyways, and it does seem to ground out a small bit. I've probably just gotten a little bit unlucky with the with the routes I've chosen, but yeah, so far that's what I've gotten out of it. So other things to just take note of, especially on the technical side of things, this thing has 245,000 torque. So this thing is powerful with the max with the max engine. I mean properly powerful. I don't mean just powerful for its weight. I mean it's properly powerful. 245,000 puts it right in line with the Slater Elephant, the 816, and the Plaid 450. That actually puts it with those two trucks, and I'm pretty sure those trucks are much heavier. I don't remember how much they weigh, but I'm pretty sure they're much heavier. This thing, for just so you know, this thing weighs. It comes in at about 21 tons. That's how much it weighs in the game files. So it's about the same weight as the Boar or the International Paystar 5600 TS. It's around that kind of thing in weight terms. I should have actually checked how much the Plaid 450 and the Slater ST 816 weigh, because that's how much power that this thing is producing. It's producing the exact same amount of power as those two trucks. And remember, those two trucks are heavies. They're like proper super heavy trucks, as we tend to call them sometimes in this game, because they're a little bit OP from time to time. But like this thing's off-road class. Like, yeah, it's a much, especially on scale, in terms of scale, it's a much smaller vehicle. Okay, but we've made it to the farm here anyway. So the cargoes that we're picking up are one-slot cargoes, so I should just be able to, we'll put the hay bale there, and then we'll put the consumable there, and then we'll load the other consumable up onto our nose. Yeah, that should work. Okay. Hopefully. Yeah, we're just gonna hope and pray. Alright guys, so we're all loaded up then. I did just go ahead there and draw a little bit of a route, which we're kind of going on the same sort of areas that we've been on before, so we're not going anywhere different. But yeah, we're all loaded up, ready to go. So yeah, like the amount of power this thing has, I'm assuming that this truck is going to be very good. I mean, so far, like I said, I've enjoyed driving it, and I've only been driving it for, you know, like, I've only been driving it for a few minutes really, but it just feels really nice to drive. That's the thing. Other interesting things I suppose to point out, but then again, I don't have all the technical information that I would probably like to have, just because they're only out. The trucks are only out, like, you know, at the time we recording this. I know when this video is uploaded, it's going to be like 3-4 days, but I still don't have all the information I would like. So yeah, like usually when I do one of these videos, or when I do, like for example last week when we did the video for the Voron, you know, I'm doing all the I'm doing all the information based off of research from Nathan Province's video, because like I'm on PS5, so I can't really go into the game files on the PS5 and check the stuff myself. So everything I know is usually based off of Nathan Province's videos and the spreadsheets on his Discord server. Hang on. What the? Are we seriously stuck beneath a tree? I think, yeah, we're stuck on a tree there. What? Come on. There you go. Oh, the consumable is a little bit loose there. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's alright though. Okay. Come on. There you go. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. So yeah, all the information that I am working off of at the moment is from the spreadsheets, which yeah, I'm hoping are properly updated. Oh crap. We're slowing down on our way up here, but then again, this is a very steep climb, and it's also a climb, ooh, that's very tight. I probably should have gone around the other way if I'm being honest, but come on, we can do this. Come on, you got it. Oh, I did not mean to restore my crane. Attach winch, tree to trailer. See if we can get that to swing itself around a bit. Oh yeah, there we go. Come on. Come on, there you... Yeah, that's good. Come on. It's good. It's good. That's pretty narrow. That is pretty narrow. Oh jeez. 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 Oh. Oh. Ah. Ah. And I lost the bales. Ah. You gotta be kidding me. I need those. No. We are in a pretty precarious situation here, regardless, though. So, okay, we're gonna stick our crane over like this. Hopefully we won't flip. I'm gonna extend our outriggers as well. I'm gonna have to readjust my winch point because, yeah, that's not gonna help us. Okay, we're pretty good. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, now, I don't think there's much chance of me being able to reach those hay bales, but hopefully hopefully I will. Nope, we can actually reach them. How? They are extremely far away. I have no idea how we're able to reach those. Okay, anchor in. Put my foot on the throttle and hit and take off the handbrake. And I think we're pretty good. We're pretty good. Okay, that was sketchy. that was really sketchy. I've only come kind of down this road area before, and I haven't gone up it with a and I haven't been around here with a full sideboard, you know, a full 5-slot trailer before. So yeah, that was definitely sketchy. I definitely could have, yeah, maybe planned this route a little bit better. I don't know. Yeah, geez, I'd say the stability of this truck, I'd say, is very commendable with the fact that we were able to survive that. And honestly, I think those wide mud tires there in the rear, those wide Mercedes tires, probably came in clutch because the trailer was going, but the truck wasn't really. It was still really trying to keep itself upright, even when the trailer was pulling it over there. So yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool, honestly. It's cool when you get one of those near-death experiences, you know? Okay. But, did I strap those down? Yeah, I did. For a second, I could have swore they moved. Slightly. No, those are strapped down. Okay, so that's good. So, oh, geez. The fuel tanks just showed up red on me. We're down to, yeah, I mean, we are burning through 30 liters a minute at the moment. well, it's gone up to 30 there at its max. It's probably more averaging, I'd say 20 or so. Yeah, I mean, it's fluctuating a lot. Another nice touch of this truck, it's not a standard, off-road box that's in this thing. These trucks don't have standard gearboxes like a lot of trucks, like a lot of trucks that are being added now. They're not the standard off-road fine-tune and high-range box, which I don't really know too much about them, what they do in terms of, you know, like all-wheel drive penalties or whatever. But one glaring thing there that you can see without, you know, having to be told is the fact that it's got six automatic gears instead of the usual 5, which is always nice. That was also something that they had in the Voron G series that we got there. Oh, and also, before I actually forget, because I probably will forget, there's been a lot of updates besides what we got here with the Mercedes trucks. Yeah, there's been actually some significant changes in this update. The most annoying one, or the one that was a little bit unfortunate, I suppose, for the truck, is that the the Voron G series has been nerfed, quote unquote, which I'm not sure how much of a nerf it really is. Essentially, what they've done is they've increased its fuel thirstiness, which I'm not too fond about that, especially considering I was getting worried about the thing's fuel consumption whilst we were using it in the last episode. But then again, that thing's fuel consumption does go down quite a bit if you just drive it at high speed, which is easier said than done in this game. But that is, yeah, that is how you get it to not use too much fuel. Okay, so we are having a little bit of a struggle driving up here, so I'm going to unpack the cargo, take off the weight, see if that helps. A little bit. No, there it goes. Okay, we're good. Up we go. Up we go. Yeah, not too bad. The worst, the thing I actually have neglected to think about is how the hell am I going to turn around once I get up here? And also, this is really narrow. What am I doing? Why did I come up here? We're gonna flip again, aren't we? Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. Up we go. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. Alright, nice. Hey, there's a pretty nice view from up here. Look at that. Alright, deliver the hay bale. And now I need to figure out how to... I should be able to turn around. Hopefully. If I just push the trailer over in that direction. Come on. Come on. There you go. Okay, we're good, I think. Okay, restore crane. And off we go again. Also, something I like about this truck, it's got a reversing sound. That's very nice. That's a nice touch. The Actros does as well, actually. It's actually a different sound. They didn't just use the same sound twice, which they could have very easily done. It's a slightly different beeping noise. Oh, come on, reverse up there. I don't want to go off the edge. Okay, we're alright, we're alright. Turn over that way. Yeah, the stability of this truck really does feel good. Jeez. Went over that quite nicely. Alright, we go down this way. Yeah, and then the other thing that they did to the... to the Voron, besides just making it more fuel thirsty, they decreased its tire weights, which previously the truck had heavier than normal tires. It had 320 on its tire weights, which the benefit of that is essentially it increases the truck's effective pulling power, meaning it should be able to pull more because its tires are heavier, allowing it to kind of sink deeper into the mud when you're driving. You know, kind of grip more. That's kind of the idea behind that. So it's been reduced from the 320 that it was at to 260, because and you know what, at the same, and you know, even though that is supposed to be a downgrade for it, I'm kind of okay with it. You know, I kind of think that that might be an okay change, because the one thing I was saying about the truck in the last episode was it kind of felt a bit sluggish to drive. And I was driving it just a small bit there off camera with the new update. And the thing about it is that it kind of feels, I don't know how to put this, it kind of feels like the reduced tire weight has kind of made it a little bit, you know, quicker, a little bit more snappier, which would make sense because obviously you need power to turn your wheels, you know. So the heavier your tires are, the more stress it will put on the engine. That's just that, and that's before you even talk about what kind of load you're putting onto your truck. So yeah, that's interesting enough as well. And I suppose just to come back to the Mercedes Zetros here and talk a little bit more about it. It's got, like I said, I was talking about the tires there. Oh, are we? Oh no, we're good. I thought we were stuck there for a second. We were talking about the this truck's tires there, and this truck's tires are, yeah, they're pretty nice. Like I said, they do seem to give us quite a bit of stability, but they aren't actually all that special in terms of tire coating. They're actually almost identical. They're actually pretty much identical to a set of MHS1. So yeah, do with that information what you will. Oh, come on, just get around the tree. Okay, we're good. Oh, don't fall off. Don't fall off. Okay, we're good. Yeah, so that's kind of the way these tires are coated. However, they are slightly heavier than a standard set of MHS1 at a tire weight of 220 instead of 200. So yeah, so that's pretty nice. So that should, yeah, I don't really know if that's going to make too much of a difference, but that's the way the truck is. So yeah, that's pretty cool. This thing is burning through a lot of fuel as well, though. Jeez, we're back down. We've already gone through the roof rack fuel, which I forget how much it was. It was a decent bit. It was 100 and something liters, I think. Alright, but it doesn't matter too much because we have made it up to the work site. So here we go. Pull in there, turn off the engine, turn off the lights, and one metal beam. Okay, good. Let's go over here and grab the Actros, which this is going to be an absolutely monumental task for this truck. We gotta drive all the way from here, just down the road with this fuel tank, and you know we got no dirt roads or anything. We're just driving on tarmac. But like, yeah, this is going to be real difficult for this. This is some testing that we're doing for this truck. Which to be honest, I'm not sure how much we're going to get to test the Actros here. Which honestly, this could be a pretty bad video for the Actros, because yeah, honestly, it's hard to make a video on two trucks. You know, especially when I only have an hour worth of time to work with. Okay, so where's it gonna take it from? Did it take it from the trailer or did it take it from the truck? I don't know. Okay, but we have that built. Very nice. Go ahead and refuel the Zetros here. Zetros. Oh, there's an excavator down there. Look at that. Huh. Yeah, 140 liters worth of repairs that this thing has. This thing is a thirsty truck. Like, seriously. We went through a lot of fuel, and I feel like we did not drive that far at all. But at least it does have a pretty good, it does have a big fuel tank for its thirsty engine. And you know what, I'm okay with it because the engine in it, like I said, is very powerful. So I don't mind the fact that it's very thirsty. It's acceptable, you know, that kind of way. Alright, but here we are with the materials for this rock slide. So bam, bam, bam. And we now actually have proper access to the main kind of town area here. Okay, so that's brilliant. Alright guys, so I'm back. I have skipped ahead here a little bit just because I'm not really sure if I'm going to get all of this into the one video, so I just wanted to try and make it a little bit easier on myself, really, more than anything. So yeah, I've skipped ahead a little bit to the mission which I was planning to do with the truck. I just didn't explain it. I just didn't explain the fact that that was what I was doing. So sorry about that, but I'm explaining it now, so yeah. And yeah, this is the mission that we're doing here. It's called cleaning up the farm. Essentially, they've just got some garbage containers here that they want us to haul away to the railway station warehouse. Oh wait, no, to the loading zone. Yeah, but it's the same thing. And yeah, we're back up here at the West Farm. So I mean, we just drove on the road that between here with the Zetros, so between here and the town. So I didn't want to be doing that same route again when we were going to be essentially unloaded. I do have a single service spare on the trailer at the moment, though, so I did pick that up from the whatchamacallit, from the service hub. But that's we're not going to get around to what that service spare is for today. That's going to be for another episode, probably. I don't think we're gonna have time to do that. So yeah, that's just along for the ride at the moment. That service spare is just along for the ride. Okay, there we go. Now, however, even though we are fully loaded right now, I think we're just going to... Are we going to drive up? You know what? I'm going to drive up here. I'm going to see if we can cut back through here and see if we can get up onto the road. Because if we can, that'll be a pretty cool shortcut. And that would actually probably save us a bit of time than going the back kind of way. If we can kind of hop up there onto the main road kind of quickly. Also, there's the beeping sound for the reverse beep for this truck, which it is different and it's actually pretty nice. I do quite like it. I do like that. It's cool. It's cool when you have those little extra things, you know, on these trucks. It's just cool. It's just nice. Also, I suppose I'll just give a little go here of the startup noise and the engine sound. So it does sound pretty nice. I'm not exactly sure. I think the engine noises on both of these trucks are actually new. I'm fairly sure. The sound, I can't pinpoint them as the sounds off of any of the other trucks. I don't think they've recycled sounds for these vehicles, which is good, because yeah, that was the one big nitpick I had about the two Season 17 trucks. Their sounds are reused. The Voron G series having the exact same sounds as the Voron D series. Oh crap. And the RX 600 having the exact same sounds as the Western Star, the White Western Star 4964. So yeah, that's one of those things that kind of ticks me off a small bit from whenever I hear the sounds being reused. It just does, okay? It just, yeah. I know it's not a big thing, but it's just me in particular. I don't like that. I don't like seeing that. But anyways, onto the interesting stuff about this truck. Starting off, this thing has 185,000 torque. I think it's 185,200 or something like that. I think it's a slightly odd number. So that means it's kind of right in between like the 2600 TTA and the 2700T engines that are found in most of the heavy duty trucks, most of the heavy duty American ones. So that's pretty decent. Like, yeah, it's a pretty decent amount of power, honestly, for the truck. And it's not terribly heavy either or anything like that. It comes in at 12 tons. Can we fit through there, or is that collision? Are we colliding? I think we're colliding with that tractor a slight bit. Okay, we may not be able to fit through here. Okay, that's unfortunate. Let me find another way around. Actually, there might be a slightly easier way to get up over here, actually. Let's see. Oh! What the? Okay. Ugh. Camera's freaking out a small bit there. That's a little bit steep. Looks like we can come back around here, though. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. And can we drive up there? Yeah. Sorry, I just want to. I'm not going to talk about the stuff here whilst I'm doing my little bit of route finding here. But yeah, we can. Yeah, that's pretty good. Not bad. Look at that. But one thing I do have to say about this truck as well so far is that it really does seem to have kind of a lot of flex to it. You know, it's got a lot of frame flex to it, and it seems to have quite a lot of suspension flex as well. Even though we don't have the rock crawler suspension on it, it's still got a lot of flex in the suspension. So, geez, if we had the rock crawler suspension on it, I feel like this thing would be very unstable at high speed, that's for sure. Yeah, because whilst I was driving it on the main road when I was driving it up to get to the trailer store and stuff like that, it does kind of feel kind of very, I don't know what's the best way to describe it, kind of floaty, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of very loose handling when you're at high speed on the road. That's kind of my best impression of it. It's just kind of like as if the steering is a bit slow. That's, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see if we can get that kind of effect here. Honestly, now that it's loaded, it kind of feels a little bit better, if I'm being honest. So maybe it was just because I was unloaded and I didn't have any weight on the axles. Okay. Come on, keep it going fast. High gear. Does that work? Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, I'm actually going to pick up 2 consumables whilst we're in here at the food factory. Or is this the food? Yeah, it's food factory. I swear that's what it's called. We are going to pick up 2 consumables here, even though I have no idea how I'm going to transport them. I'll figure it out. We do have to drive around here to the loading dock, though, so it's not a straight-through type of situation. I can't just floor it. Yeah, that looks fine, I guess. It's definitely not going to make us top-heavy or anything like that. We're totally going to flip, aren't we? Also, we are getting quite low on fuel now, which I am honestly surprised how long the fuel has lasted in this truck. But then again, I actually haven't seen the fuel consumption go above like 10 or 12 liters a minute, which means that this thing is extremely, and I do mean extremely, fuel efficient, which, yeah, is just kind of crazy. But then again, I suppose the Actros, you know, it's not really it's not really an off-road truck primarily. Like, when I see these things in real life, which I just see a few, if I'm being honest, I don't see too many of them in real life because they're just not that popular of a truck brand in where I live. I do see them, but they're just not that popular of a thing for people to buy, I guess. Yeah. But when I do see them, like, the Actros is kind of primarily kind of a highway type of truck. You know, it's not really it's not really an off-road truck. You don't see too many of this kind of 6x6 type variant around, or 8x8s or anything like that. So yeah, it kind of makes sense that it is a fuel efficient truck. I mean, then again, I feel like the devs just kind of made it that way, and they gave it a small fuel tank to kind of, you know, kind of, you know, kind of drive the point home. Oh, geez. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. But then, like, this thing has a 180 liter fuel tank, and then it can have a 260 liter amount of, it can have 260 liters of spare fuel. So the fuel on this truck just doesn't make any sense to me, really, still. Even though it's extremely fuel efficient, I don't understand why that's the way the fuel is on this truck. I don't know. It's just, yeah. I'm rambling a bit, I'm sorry. It's just, yeah. It's just a bit confusing, I guess, yeah. But anyways, on to other technical information about this truck before we run out of time. It comes in at about 12 tons. So this truck is in the game file. So it weighs about the same as the Pacific P512PF, just for reference. And also the tires on it, they're about on par with a set of OHD ones. They're not as good. They are a little bit worse in their kind of mud type rating at a 1.7 and a 1. Instead of a 1.9, but they are wider. They are slightly wider, I believe, than a set of OHD ones. So that does help a little bit. Then amongst other things, obviously, just like the Zetros, this thing has 6 automatic gears in its off-road box, which is quite nice. Oh, that's oh. I just kind of sprung myself back. Okay, that was kind of funny. It just kind of, okay, I'm a dummy. Okay, if we kind of just, okay, we're gonna fit through that time. That's cool. That's cool. And then other things then to mention just before we finish up, and because I've forgotten to mention them, you know, I was talking about other trucks got updated in this update. You know, I mentioned the Voron the G series and what it got updated, but there are a lot of base game trucks and a couple of other DLC vehicles that got updates. Mainly the Pacific trucks. All 3 of the Pacific trucks have actually been updated. The P12 and P16 got heavier tires. Oh wait, I've driven into the wrong box. Oh, I'm a dummy. Yeah, the P12 and the P16 got heavier sets of tires. So that essentially means that they've increased the tractive effort, the kind of amount of effort that the trucks can put in. So they should be able to, you know, kind of, they should be able to pull heavier loads now, which is very nice. It's nice to see those trucks getting buffed. And then the P12, I don't have all the technical information on this. This is just a simple understanding that I have. And then the P512 got an increased fuel tank. It now has a 300 liter fuel capacity, whereas before it only had 200 liters, which is just brilliant, because like that thing, when it had a 200 liter, it just wasn't good enough. It just wasn't. And then other things, honestly, my favorite part of this update, even though the Mercedes trucks are really cool, my favorite part of this update, the Ford F750 got a switchable trailer hitch, so we can now have heavy and scout trailers on the Ford F750, which is just brilliant. Why that feature wasn't added sooner, I have no idea why, but that is just the best part of this update for me. And then in other things, the Ford F750 also got an increase to its fuel and repair supplies, even though it definitely had enough as it was. As well as that, the Chevrolet Apache also got an increase to its refuel and repair supplies, and the Can LO4F also got increased to its fuel and repair supplies. So it looks like they're really going to town on the older trucks and giving them, especially the older scout trucks, and giving them extra, fuel and repair capabilities. Because like they did a similar thing to the Can 39 Marshall, the Chevrolet CK 1500, and the Scout 800 there, only in season 16. So yeah, it's really nice to see them kind of updating them trucks and just kind of giving them a little bit of a boost. Just kind of fixing some of the minor issues. Even though some of those things weren't really issues. They're just kind of giving them a slight little bit of a buff, just so they can kind of keep up with some of the DLC trucks that have been coming out lately, because everything just kind of feels like it's OP so far at this point. But anyways, that was cleaning up the farm job, so perfect. Everything's been hauled off. The farm's a bit cleaner now, so we can get back to work without stumbling over trash. Thanks for your help. You fully deserve this reward. So that's 750 XP and 7,100 cash. So that's very nice. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to finish that other mission that we started here, which was this one. Yeah, the ones where we delivered the hay bales. We have them delivered, but unfortunately we can't go get the fuel, because that's the fuel's all the way over here, and we just don't have time to go ahead and do that today. So yeah, it is what it is. But that was the Mercedes. Well, that was my first look at the Mercedes, at this Mercedes pack, and yeah, I like these things. They are pretty nice. I can't wait to use them more, really. To be honest, I'm super excited about that. It's just we got Mercedes in the game. It's so cool to have a Euro Truck brand in here. But yeah, both of the trucks just brilliant. They just feel really good, and even though they have a limited add-on capabilities, I think that's all right. I think they're just they're just really good. They're just brilliant, and they feel really good as well. But yeah, that's gonna have to do it for today's episode, guys. Sorry, I know I've rambled a bit, but thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look at the new pack, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next one. Goodbye.